Hello and welcome to an episode of Historically Marked. I am Jason, and you may recognize this place. I'm in downtown Chicago, and I was here literally 4 years ago. This is the eastern terminus of classic Route 66 at the intersection of Jackson and Michigan. And I thought I'd come check this out again because apparently they erected a new historical marker. I'm also going to take you to where it extended somewhat to Lakeshore Drive, the old Route 66 route. So shall we begin? And if you ask me, it's really sad that they really had to keep replacing these signs. I mean, not just this one, but the begin one on Adams, because people keep flooding it with stickers. In that one book that I have been reading for use to this trip in Chicago, the 100 Places to See Before You Die, the author even encourages people to put stickers on here, which I think is a big no-no. If you've seen any of my Route 66 videos, I've been to many landmarks along the route, going like at the Staying on the Corner one, and even at the Texas state line sign, they coated with stickers. I mean, I don't know. I guess it's an unwritten rule. I don't know that, but I don't know. But yeah, here is the end. If you're going backwards from California or wherever you're starting from the west, yes, this is where you're going to be. And this is around rush hour time. I think it's like 4:30 here in Chicago time. But this is where it ends. I'll just show you the real intersection. Yeah, the CVS pharmacy is on your right, and then so is the Railway Exchange building. Yeah, that baby's huge. This at one time was, I mean, it's a one-way lane now, but I would not recommend getting out of your car to take a picture of the sign because it's a tow-away zone. You never know, no matter what time of the day. I mean, if you do it very, very carefully. I highly recommend paying for parking. I mean, it's not really worth it, in my opinion. Just parking and getting out and go. Okay, so this is where Route 66 officially ended, or started. Alright, so this is the other eastern terminus of old Route 66. This is the intersection of Jackson Drive and Usable Lakeshore Drive. This is US Highway 41. Route 66 and US Highway 34 were both extended beyond Michigan Avenue to link with US 41, which is here. And so, yeah, they kind of gave it a little extension. But however, there is no marker, unfortunately, that says that, at least not on my count. Like, I don't see an end Route 66 sign anyplace. But I thought I'd show you this anyway. But I am going to go ahead and go up that way to Adams, where, yes, it starts. Oh yeah, well, the other thing I forgot was there's a historical marker erected recently. So I'm definitely going to see if I can find it someplace. So I know it's going to take a while to find, but yeah, unless it says do not enter, I would definitely try looking at the Grant Park South garage. I did that last time, but on this trip go around, I'm actually going on foot in public transportation. I didn't even drive here. I went by Amtrak. So I mean, saving money on parking definitely helps, but parking will not be cheap. I assure you that. But just be sure to have some money ready. But again, it's worth it. All right, here is the intersection where it starts. So if you're on your motorcycle, bike, or car, then yeah, this is where it all begins. And just like I said for the other one, yeah, definitely do not risk getting out of your car. No stopping, no standing. Ooh, Kong dog, that sounds good. But here is that historic Route 66 begin sign. People are already starting to ruin it, but hey, what am I gonna do? So yeah, it feels good to be here because it's weird because now for those who have been following this channel for a while, a lot of people know I did my Route 66 trips in phases, like not phases, but like in parts. Like, I did the Illinois stretch in one trip, I did the Missouri and part of Oklahoma in one stretch, and then I did like Southern California by itself, and then I did that 2 years ago in August of 2022. Then I came back to LA almost a year ago, going back to Santa Monica Pier, and I love that place for some reason. I don't know what it is, but I visited the endpoint sign, end of the trail sign again while I was there, and now here I am again at the begin sign. How weird is that? All right, so that is the Art Institute, and that is the intersection of Michigan and Adams, and this was put here earlier this year, and there's actually 4 of these in the city all around Route 66. So let's see if I can get a little read out of this. In the 1920s, America became an automobile nation. At the start of the decade, there were 8 million cars on the road, but roughly 32,000 of the nation's 2.5 million miles of rural roads were paved, making transcontinental travel prohibitively slow. By the end of the 1920s, Americans owned 23 million cars, with many driving Henry Ford's affordable Model T. More cars meant more demand for paved roads. In 1921, Congress passed the Federal Aid Highway Act, which called for a network of roads covering the entire country. A few years later, plans for interstate routes were approved for all 48 states. Remember, Alaska and Hawaii were not states back then. But anyway, Route 66 stretched for more than 2,400 miles from Chicago to Santa Monica, California. Cy Avery, the Oklahoma Highway Commissioner, known as the father of Route 66, dubbed it the Main Street of America. This route was considered the primary path between the Great Lakes and the Pacific Coast. Route 66 was officially established in 1926. The Illinois stretch of Route 66 began as a 2-lane road known as SB I-4, which followed the route of the old Pontiac Trail from Chicago to St. Louis. Now at first, it began as Cicero, but its designation as Route 66 increased traffic. To accommodate this, the starting point was moved to Michigan Avenue and Jackson Boulevard in Chicago. Ogden Avenue has traditionally been a major transportation route into and out of Chicago. The street parallels both the South Branch of the Chicago River, which was once the main waterway toward the Mississippi, and the Chicago, Burlington, and Quincy Railroad tracks. The Route 66 era was the heyday of Ogden Avenue and the neighborhood it runs through. Route 66 was and still is an emblem of the nation's car culture. From the 1920s through the 1950s, dozens of repair garages, tire suppliers, and automobile dealers set up shop along the street. So, many of you know the story about how Route 66, was decommissioned and interstate highways led an end to it, meaning like Interstate 55 and all that, and Interstate 40. So in 1977, the end of Route 66 signs on Jackson Boulevard came down. A few remaining restaurants and repair shops along Ogden Avenue still display Route 66 memorabilia, ensuring its years as a piece of America's most mythologized highway are never forgotten. And it's put up by Choose Chicago and the Illinois Department of Commerce. Very nice. And on the back is Spanish version. All right, thanks so much for tuning into this episode of Historically Marked. Hope I gave you a little nice update or revision of the eastern terminus of Route 66 here in Chicago. So, all right, thanks for tuning in. Stay tuned for some more videos. So, see you guys soon. Jason, sign off.